This is your evening news update for Friday, April 30. A warm welcome to you. A day after the central bank governor delivered a grim report card of the island's economic performance for the first 3 months of the year, the business sector says the outlook is worrying. The island posted a double digit decline near 20% and is only likely to record modest growth of 1 to 3% this year. Chairman of the Barbados Private Sector Association, Edward Clark, tells Barbados Today the slowdown in economic activity from January to March was not surprising, but there's much uncertainty ahead. He says it's clear the island must keep a tight hold on the COVID-19 pandemic, insisting that another shutdown is out of the question.
The outlook is very dependent on what happens in the tourism sector, which we have little control on the global market space at this time. But a lot depends on how we manage our own situation here, how we control our own COVID management, and the protocols and so on that are in place. We have to ensure that we do what we need to do, follow the protocols, and get as many people vaccinated as possible to prevent any widespread COVID at this time or in the future. Because the country really can't afford another shutdown. It's as simple as that. And businesses, as you can see, are struggling. Unemployment is struggling. People need jobs, and we just can't. There's not enough economic activity to drive employment at this time.
He also pointed to the recent ashfall from the La Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent and a number of bank holidays leading up to midday, which also dampened business activity.
So we have to bide our time, try and make sure we are prepared when tourism does come back. But we need to find ways to stimulate the economy otherwise, and to try and get some other economic activity in the Capital Works program and so on, both on the public and private sector side moving.
Schools are in line to receive additional monitors to help ensure that COVID-19 protocols are followed when face-to-face classes resume next week. Word of this from Chief Education Officer Joy Adamson, following talks with monitors today at the Wilde Gymnasium.
It went very well. We had a very good turnout of the monitors. We were able to talk to some of the new ones who came on.
How many?
We have about 28 to 30 new ones. We're assigning additional monitors at the nursery schools, and we are topping up at other schools.
What's the reason behind the top up?
So that we have at least 2 monitors at each of the nursery schools, because we know they need the extra help.
A year of sterling performance. That's how Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, today graded the regional university, which he said defied several challenges this year. Delivering his 2019-2020 year in review report during the University Council meeting, Sir Hilary said the UWI, in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic and other threats, rose above its challenges.
We were able to become a part of the network. Our governments, our medical practitioners, our community health workers, we were able to become a part of that in order to save lives. And when I see the circumstance north of us, when I see the circumstance south of us, and I see that in the Caribbean, our governments have done an excellent job in containing this virus, UE was at the table working hand in glove with them to save lives. And saving lives, there can be no greater objective. And that is why I have said, because of what we did, because of how we responded, 2020 was our finest hour.
Sir Hilary is equally confident that the best days are ahead for the UWI, noting the institution has already cut its debt by half. He says an aggressive plan is afoot to generate more revenue and reduce expenditure.
The shared services strategy is the future to reducing the expenditure of the entire ecosystem of UWI, passing on those savings to governments, passing on those savings to the students. And this is now what we are working on. The digital transformation, the shared services model, reduction of operational costs, saving resources for reinvestment.
In tonight's COVID-19 update, health officials say they're on top of the coronavirus outbreak at the psychiatric hospital. Some 15 persons have already tested positive for the virus, and authorities say contact tracing is continuing. On Thursday, the island recorded 8 new cases, 2 females and 6 males from 800 tests conducted by the Public Health Lab. 15 people were discharged from isolation, leaving 85 patients. Overall, Barbados has 3,863 confirmed cases and 3,783 persons have recovered from the virus. Total vaccinations to date stand at 74,040.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news in Jamaica, government is set to lift its ban on UK travelers from tomorrow, but there is much concern about the move. More in this report from Television Jamaica.
The government instituted a ban on flights from the United Kingdom on December 21 last year. It followed an outbreak of the UK variant of the coronavirus in December. Jamaicans have been wary following a report earlier this year that 7 cases of the UK variant were identified. It was further compounded by information from health representatives that the spike in cases recorded this year was possibly due to the presence of the UK variant. At last evening's COVID conversation, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton was asked the rationale for resuming flights from the UK starting this weekend.
It's a fluid situation. The Prime Minister is on record of saying that while that is an imperative, we take action and make policy decisions based on situational circumstances, situational specific circumstances. And the expectation is that the management of the process leading up to that point would allow for that decision to be made, because we look not just at the historical, we look forward and we plan based on the data.
Dr. Tufton says the subcommittee of Parliament will meet this weekend, where the matter is on the agenda to be discussed.
On the international scene, a stampede at a religious festival attended by tens of thousands of ultra-Orthodox Jews in northern Israel killed at least 44 people and injured some 150 others early Friday. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has described the incident as a great tragedy and one of the heaviest disasters to befall the state of Israel. Sunday has been declared a day of national mourning.
The catastrophic crush unfolded within minutes as thousands tried to make their way through a narrow passage leading from the festival's main site. Some people were reported to have slipped as they walked down a section of metal stairs. They were engulfed in the unstoppable mass surging behind them, adults and children falling one after the other. Up to 100,000 had packed into the venue in northern Israel, more than in previous years. The organisers tried to evacuate the area by other routes, but amid the chaos and panic, the situation worsened. Some witnesses said the police didn't act quickly enough to remove barriers that were hemming people in.
More people arrived, and more from all sides. A lot of people arrived, and the police wouldn't let them exit. So people started to be folded on top of each other, and they were squashed on top of each other. The police didn't open the passageway until it crashed, and all the crowd was pushed to the sides.
Hours later, the full horror of the disaster was clear as workers collected victims' belongings. This was Israel's first mass religious event since the lifting of pandemic restrictions. It became one of the deadliest civilian tragedies in the country's history.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.